So how can you tell if you're sexually compatible with someone if you don't mess around a little bit or a lot before you get married?
We're talking about sexual compatibility. We're talking about sexual compatibility today, again on Love Ed with Julie and MJ. Last week, Julie shared about sex not being some kind of product that you try on that's either going to work or not, but something that you actually make work together. I love your analogy about the adventure that you're on. Blah, 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 adventure you're on. I feel like now we got to make that a theme.
So what would you want to add to that this week?
This whole way of looking at sex is similar to the way we look at marriage. It's about us. The whole fear of winding up in a marriage without all the Hollywood sex you could dream of is really born out of a real selfish perspective.
And what makes you say that?
Personal experience.
Great.
Because you're really no. Because I had this really selfish perspective on marriage. I didn't think very seriously about marriage in college until you and I started dating, and then I did. But prior to that, I joke about with my friends. I'll tell you one thing about my future wife. Number one, she's going to be
sweet,
hot. Number two,
kind,
and holy. And I was sincere about the holy. I wasn't joking about that. I really wanted her to love Jesus, but I wanted her to be hot, holy, and number three,
lovely,
horny. Hot, holy, and horny. Those are the three things.
I married him. I purposely chose this.
I wanted sex to be everything I dreamed it would be. I didn't even have any doubts when we stood at the altar that it would be everything I dreamed that it would be. But it did, especially in the first 10 or so years of marriage, turned out to be less than I dreamed it would be.
Which is a common occurrence, that we have high expectations for marriage. And
about everything about marriage.
Not just sexually.
You know what? Get out a pen and paper right now. Write this down. Sex will not be everything. Marriage will not be everything you dreamed it would be. Go ahead, write it down. We'll wait for you to finish.
In some ways, it'll be more.
Yeah.
But
yes.
Anyways.
But my sexual disappointment wasn't a sexual problem. We did not have a sexual problem. I had a sin problem. Selfishness is what dooms marriages, not sexual incompatibility.
So is it a sin to want a good sex life?
I cannot imagine a good God creating sex and thinking, only people that have sex outside of marriage really enjoy this. That would be a pretty jacked up God. But my question for you watching is, do you want to get married so that you can get great sex? Is that what you want to get me some of that? Is that what it's about? Or do you want to get married so you can share great sex? Is sex something that's about you and your desires and your wildest expectations? Or is sex about you and one other person coming together as one? And as Julie talked about last week, in a vulnerable, intimate state, a literal state of abandonment.
And you've read about this a lot, studied about it, and written a lot on your Date Night Advice blog about this subject.
Check out the links in the comment section below.
And if you have a question you'd like to ask us to have answered on future editions of Love Ed.
Could be about sex, dating, or relationships, or
contact us at the link below.
And join us again next week on Love Ed with Julie and MJ.